0. Tottenham won. Not the greatest game. Not a game for the neutral. I thought I was really unhappy with the way we played at half-time. I was just saying, like, how the hell are we 1-0 up? We have been shocking so far. We got the predicted lineup spot on with Kolo Muani on the left and Richarlison up top. And first half, I mean, literally, I had no idea how we were 1-0 up. I thought Palace had the onus in the game. They were creating chances, albeit they didn't really kind of test Vicario too much. But they were the ones pressurising us, and we were finding it hard to get up the pitch and create any sort of decent chances. I think before Archie Gray scored that goal, our XG was like 0.03 or something crazy like that, where, you know, it was just what we've seen over the last couple, well, for the majority of the season, and it was very, very frustrating. And I thought their midfield was completely bossing ours. I think Bentancur kind of looked lost in that first half, and Archie Gray was doing a few nice bits, but still not really doing it all right. I mean, there was just nothing in that first half performance, was there?
Apart from the goal, which obviously comes from
the disallowed goal.
And then, to be fair, the disallowed goal was actually really well worked. I know it's offside, but that was also a classic Frank ball kind of goal. Just a couple of nice interchanges, whipped the ball in, and also it was a nice finish from Richie. Unfortunately, he was offside, but classic. Richie just should never celebrate a goal. Just don't celebrate Richie, because
he didn't take off his shirt this time.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it was a tough watch in that first half. Really tough. It was, I think, one of Palace's, I think in general, their highest ever possession, I think, this season. I do wonder. I think it was a tactic. Yeah, I think it was a tactic from Frank as well. I think it's a clever tactic, to be fair, because that's where Palace struggle, when you give them the ball and give them the onus. Albeit, I would say they weren't struggling to get near us or create. They were just, their finishing was completely off on the day.
Yeah, I thought in the first half they didn't really create too many high quality chances. I think they did a bit in the beginning of the second half.
Mateta had one, and they had most of it was just pot shots from edge of the box. Yeah. I would say they still had the better chances, but obviously we did score. Yeah, probably scored against run of play, you would probably say, with the goal. And to be fair to the players, they did very well with the goal, in terms of Muani did really well to keep it on. Richarlison did really well to beat, I think that was Lacroix with the header, and then Gray, right place, right time, bam, 1-0. And I think I said at half-time, like, going in 1-0, given Palace's struggles playing 2 games a week and knowing that there's a likelihood they might tie near the end of the game, the longer you go, that stays at 1-0, the better it is for you, because they're going to struggle to keep up their intensity. And so it showed in that second half. But yeah, I think first half, as much as a hard watch, we defended pretty well. Second half, it was a weird one. I thought we were better from, obviously, for the end of the game. For the last 20 minutes, we were better. But for the first 25 minutes, we were definitely lucky not to concede. They had some really presentable chances. Devaney, Guehi, Lacroix all should have scored, if we're being honest. So we got lucky on that, on that sense. And as well, we offered very little. I think we had our first shot in that second half on 73 minutes. So it was very tough. But what happened was what's happening with Palace a lot, going into a latter exchange of the game. When they've played a game in midweek, they really struggle to keep up their intensity, and we started to exploit them on the counter come late in the game. And the tactic, I think what I assume was the tactic for most of the game, started to work in the latter stage of the game, especially when we brought on Odebear, Johnson. They were stretching Palace. I actually thought one key tactical sub was also Paulinho. I think him coming on, why I think his substitution was really vital is because clearly it was a tactic from Tottenham to sit a bit deeper and clog up the space, not give Palace much space. And once he came on, because that's our tactic to avoid the space, it meant Palace had to be a bit more incisive. They had to be a lot sharper with their pass, a lot more accurate. And once the game was going on and they were getting tired and, you know, their passing started to wane a bit and they started to lack the energy, Paulinho was just mopping everything up. He was snapping at their heels. He was breaking up their play. And all of a sudden, he really started to dominate in that middle for the last part of the game. And I think his energy, you know, what he brings off the ball, we all know it. It's not what he brings off the ball that people complain about. It's what he brings on the ball. And what he brings off the ball was a massive compliment to him, and I thought he came on, did really well, and it just made sure that in that latter stage of the game, Palace were really struggling to create anything really for the last part, and I thought we should have probably killed the game off. But it's not. I don't think it's unfair to say for about 75 minutes of that game, we were probably lucky to be ahead.
Yeah, I thought for the first hour, Spurs weren't great, but definitely in the latter stages, we had our best moment. The last 20 minutes, I thought Spurs were really good, to be honest, and we were catching Palace out. Johnson was a threat on that right-hand side. Odegaard came on, made a real difference on that left-hand side. I was really happy with the way we finished that game. And yeah, look, we could say Palace were tired and Palace played 2 games in a week, and this is what happens every time. But also, you know, we hung in there. And, you know, a lot of teams do that at Palace. It's not an easy place to go, is it, to Selhurst Park? And what did they create XG-wise on the day? Was it just over 1, wasn't it?
1.47.
Like, I'm sure plenty of teams will go there and concede a much bigger XG than that against Crystal Palace. You know, we know how Ollie Glasner has made them tick since he's gone there. Obviously, they're not having the best time of it at the moment. But at Selhurst Park, they usually are a tough nut to crack. And you know you're in for a game when you go to Selhurst Park. So I haven't seen the stats. Maybe you can tell me about their XG that they've been creating at home. But surely it's majority bigger than that.
Yeah, it's one of their lower ones of the season.
Yeah, so I thought Spurs...
It's pretty middle, actually.
I thought Spurs did well from that aspect. I thought Van de Ven was having a really good game at centre-back. I thought Kevin Danso... I thought Mateta gave him a bit of a hard time in the first half, but second half, I thought that Kevin Danso was probably our best player in the second half. He was absolutely fantastic, gobbling up everything, aerially dominant. So those 2 centre-backs, I think, made a real difference for us yesterday. But yeah, I think that the changes were what really kind of swung the momentum in our favour and swung the game in our favour, in my opinion.
Yeah, it wasn't their lowest, but it wasn't their highest either. It was pretty middle. It was like 4th out of 9 home games. So,
yeah, so decent.
Well, it's middle. It's not like anything
for a team that you were saying we were relegation fodder last week. Then you know what I mean.
We are.
Like
I've said that on the ball.
Yeah, and we won the game yesterday.
While still being relegation fodder on the ball, for large part.
Regardless, we won the game, you know. 3 points more than West Ham this weekend.
Yeah, which is good. And to be fair, the league table looks a lot better now with that win. Obviously, we're only 4 points off 5th, which is crazy to think about. And it's mad as well, 1 win in our last, in 2 months away from home. And we're back top of the away table, which is also crazy. Look. Good win. You can never take a win away at Palace for granted. I agree with that. It's always a tough place to go. It's good to win there. So that's good. I'm happy with that. And I think, to be honest, is away from home, I'm not as bothered about kind of these kind of performances, albeit it still bothers me, but I'm not as bothered as I am at home because of how we should be in front of our own fans and be more confident, all that kind of stuff. But away from, I do have a bit more understanding that this is kind of how it's going to be. Premier League is very difficult. You're going to have games where you're under the cosh and you're going to have to ride it out. So that's fine. I've got no problem. The only problem is this kind of performance is a pattern that has been following us around the whole season. This isn't a one-off for today or for yesterday, sorry. This is genuinely how I've been performing. In a regular season, this kind of game, you say, okay, we weren't quite our best today, but we won the game and got away with it, and we go again next time. Unfortunately, you can't really say that after this game. You can't really say, oh, it's a one-off, we got away with it, and we move on, because this has been the norm, this kind of performance. So I can't sit here and say, this is just, sometimes this happens. We got away with it. Delighted to get the result. You win when you're playing bad, while you're playing badly. Sign of a good team. All that kind of stuff. It's hard to say that element when this isn't a one-off. This isn't a departure from how we normally play, and we just got away with it. This is the norm of how we usually play. So that's why I'm looking at it and saying I can't really sit here and say I'm delighted with what I'm seeing. That's my point.
I was buzzing at full time, to be honest. 3 points away at Selhurst Park. I was absolutely buzzing, regardless, how poor we looked in parts. And we are the best away team in the Premier League.
Yeah, which is nuts.
You're talking about things that have happened consistently. winning away from home for us has happened consistently this season. No, there's no teams that have picked up more points away from home than Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League, which is mad.
Which, to be fair, when you think about the way we play, is probably more suited to playing away from home, and it makes sense because we play a bit more counter-attack, relying on set pieces, staying in games, and it's been paying off. Not to say I think every win has been deserved, but you know what? It doesn't really matter away from home because you just got to take what you can get away from home. That's the reality, especially in the situation we are in right now. You're not going to outplay every team away from home. That's just you got to get over that fact, and that's fine with me. I don't expect to do that. So yeah, I think away from home, albeit recently it wasn't great, but then obviously we've got this win. So this is our first win away from home since Everton, which was in October.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to think that one win in the last 2 months and we're back on top. But
the only two games we've had since then away from home is Arsenal and Newcastle, right? Who else have we played away?
Forest.
And Forest, yeah. So out of those three, the only one that you'd probably say we should have won is Forest. The other two, obviously, grounds that we notoriously struggle at, Emirates and St James Park.
Is that we only had 4? I guess maybe it probably makes sense. Or we've only had 4 in the last 2 months. That's just how it lies, I guess, the fixture list. That's fine. Yeah.
So, I mean, you didn't expect a win at Arsenal or Newcastle. Probably expected a win at Forest.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, I was delighted with the 3 points yesterday, and it makes that kind of looking at the league a bit more. Well, I say tolerable, but not really. We are still 11th, but we are very close to the chasing pack.
We can turn
going
it
for that top 4.
We can definitely got some good fixtures coming up potentially. So if we can get our act together, especially at home, the season is definitely still salvageable from a league point of view. We just need to start getting our act together and start playing better. That's the key. For me, always performances lead to results. And that's why I'm very big on how we're playing and what I'm seeing, rather than just looking at the result. That's not how I judge football, especially at this point. I think when it comes to the running, then it's just about getting results. Then it's just about whatever. Well, you got to achieve what you got to achieve. If you're 3 points away from top 4 and you play shit and get the win, that's all that matters. But right now, when you're starting a new tenure, a new project, it's all about getting the team to play well. That's what he's trying to do at this point. I don't think Frank is. Obviously, he wants the results, but that's when you're starting out in a new job, you try to improve how the team are playing, and results should naturally follow that because you're playing better, you concede less chances, you're creating more, blah blah blah. So that's what we got. That's what the key he's got to do. He's got to. Right now, we are so bad on the ball, and even this includes yesterday. Apart from the last 15 minutes where we were a lot better, but again, the space opened up. Palace are chasing the game. They're tired, and we exploited them and should have killed the game. Fair enough, that's good. But in general, for most of this game, it is so bad. It is so bad on the ball. It's ridiculous. And the problem with that is the hardest thing to do. And obviously Frank's admitted that. But that takes, you've got to see improvements on a week-by-week basis on that element. It's not going to just flip on 1 week and we're just going to start playing great football from 1 week to the next. That's like a slow process. So if we're right now at this stage where we're this bad, how long is it going to be until we start seeing anything resembling a coherent plan on the ball? That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, and look, it's fair worries to have, but we just need to keep pace with everyone and start picking up points. And if it doesn't change, if the way we're on the ball doesn't change, then obviously we know he's not the right man for us come the end of the season. But right now we have seen, it's a very small sample size, but we have seen in certain games that we can potentially play on the ball. I mean, obviously everyone goes back to the Brentford game because we were fantastic in that game in that aspect, but we haven't seen anything kind of similar to that since, and that's the biggest problem. We've got some games at home coming up where we should be able to show that, and these are the games where your Sunderland's at home where we're going to be asked to have a lot of the ball. We need to show that we can go and attack that team and go and attack them successfully and be the dominant team in possession and really break them down. So I mean, if we go through these next 5-6 games where we're the home team, we're the dominant team, and we've got some winnable games, and we don't show that, then I think massive alarm bells will probably start ringing after that. Particularly if we don't pick up consistent points and consistent wins over these next 5 games. But he's got an opportunity to do it now. We've got a couple of decent, I wouldn't say good performances, but decent performances behind us now over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Let's hope he can build on it. That's all we can go on, really.
For sure. And I really hope he can. And I really hope he starts to turn it around. But even in these good games, I mean, apart from Brentford, it's slim pickings when it comes to what I'm seeing and what that leads to when it comes to down the line and the future and what we're building towards. That's what I'm worried about. But there were some good things. There were definitely some good things yesterday. I think Rishi had a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
I think in his last 10 games since that United game, I think he's got like 6 goals in his last 10 games or something like that.
Look, he scored 7 Premier League goals this season alone.
I think in all competitions. Like he's had 2 yesterday, which were just offside, so that was unlucky. But he's in pretty good form, Rishi. I think Gray getting his first goal, that's going to give him confidence. I actually think Danso came in and did really well, so credit to him. And I think the back line, to be fair, probably looked a lot more secure in this game than they have done in a lot of the previous games. So that was good. Didn't concede any long shots. Vicario, largely untested. I would say it has more to do with poor finishing from Palace, but at the end of the day, he wasn't tested. So I think defence actually did well. And for the last 20 minutes, we did counter pretty effectively, which is good. And we haven't done that for I can't remember the last time we countered that effectively. We're quite good in transition when winning a tackle or something in the middle of the park. We've done that. But when it comes to really countering an opposition when they're on the attack, we've struggled to do that. And I think having Brendan Odebear definitely helped with that. And Odebear as well. What a cameo from him.
Yeah.
What a cameo from him.
That shot that cannoned off the post, I mean, you can feel the post vibrating from where I was sitting, I swear. It hit so hard against the post. Yeah, that move deserved the goal, to be honest. But look, we just got to move forward, and these wins help us ticking over. Because if we would have lost this game, we're getting closer and closer down to the relegation zone. Leeds picked up another point on the weekend, and you're thinking if Leeds would have won and we would have lost, they would have been on the same points as us, which is just crazy. So as much as you say that, results don't really matter at this stage and you just want to see performances over results, which is fair enough, but the more we lose and drop points, the more closer we're going to get to that relegation zone.
But I would argue we're losing and dropping points because we're not playing well. That's why. That's the root cause of it. It's
true, but again, no one has picked up more away points than us this season whilst we're not playing well. So those points are very valuable to us.
I'm not saying they're not valuable, but that doesn't... my point is that's, for me, that's not a building block for long-term good, sustainable results, in my opinion. And I think we saw that earlier in the season. And we were 3rd in the league. Everyone was going, "Oh, look how amazing we are! Look, top of the away table." Blah blah blah. This was in October, and I was saying, "Okay, look, we're getting good results. We're not playing well. Like, we should we should talk about these negative things." But people were saying, "Yeah, but who could have expected? If I told you in October we're going to be 3rd and we're going to be this high in the Champions League, you would have bitten my hand off." And that's true, but kind of just ignore these negatives, and those negatives have come back to bite us in the arse, and we've been getting really bad results for me because of how we've been playing. Now we won yesterday for the first time in 2 months, and somehow that makes us back at the top of the away table. Fine, that's good, but those negatives still remain. They haven't gone away just because of that. And
I totally agree with that, but the reality is we don't know what the future holds for Thomas Frank, and if he keeps playing like this, come the summer, we're going to be wanting him out the job, regardless if we finish, if we're not going to finish high up the table if we keep playing like this. That's the reality. So just take the wins when we get them right now. Like, we don't know what the future holds under Thomas Frank, and, that will come to light at the end of the season, or if it gets really bad, at some point during this season.
So just ride the wave, don't think too much about the football, and just take any win as it comes.
And see what happens, see what happens.
I think deeper about football than that, but for each their own.
Yeah, you can think deeper about it, but ultimately the result's always going to be the same.
Of course, but that's why I love football. I like talking about it. I like talking about the storylines that, what we think's going to happen, what is happening, and predict what we think might happen in the future. That's what I enjoy about football. Obviously, I also love just taking the wins as they come and enjoying each game as it is, but This is what we talk about football for a reason. It's not just because of that one game. It's the whole thing around it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And that's what we're doing right now. We're talking
Exactly.
about
That's
it.
my point.
Like, nobody is happy with the majority of the way that we're playing right now. And I don't think anyone can say hand on heart that they think Frank is the future of Tottenham Hotspur going into next season. Right now, it's as bad as it is to say, right now it just seems like it's all about just snatching and grab any win that we can possible, because we're just not playing well enough to kind of win games in our own merit and kind of break teams down and have possession-based football. So that's why I was buzzing with yesterday, because the bar's just set so low.
That's the problem.
That is a problem, but there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about it till the end of the season. We do talk about it every day.
Exactly. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
So there we go.
What do you mean, there we go?
We're talking about it. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, and?
So what's the problem with that?
I never said there's a problem.
But you're saying there's nothing we could do.
There is nothing we can do.
Okay, so what, don't mention it?
I never said don't mention it.
So it's fine. So we're talking about it. That's all I'm saying. We should talk about it.
Yeah, fine. And I don't understand.
I don't understand what you're saying.
I'm just saying there's nothing we can do about it.
So
like,
what?
just take every win it comes and be happy about it. Like,
So there you go,
we won
be
3
happy.
points.
Why should I? Okay, fine. So I should be happy about it.
If Spurs get 3 points, yeah.
I am happy we got 3 points.
Good.
But
Happy days.
But I'm also going to talk about what's not to be
Like,
happy
nobody's
about.
happy with the way we're playing right now.
You just said be happy. Why aren't you happy?
I'm happy with the 3 points. I told you I was buzzing yesterday after the game. Absolutely buzzing. I went at Selhurst Park. I came back with 3 points.
Yeah.
That's all you can ask for right now. That is the maximum you can ask for right now, because Spurs are shit. We're shit. So if you take 3 points, it's like bloody winning a trophy. That's how bad we are.
God, don't even.
That's how bad we are.
It's not even a 4th place trophy anymore. It's a 3-point trophy.
But seriously, like...
But you're contradicting yourself. No one can be happy, but you should be happy.
No one can be happy with the way we're playing. There's 2 separate things. No one can be happy with the way we're playing, but if you take 3 points, you've got to be delighted because we're so shit.
Okay. I'm happy we won. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also going to talk about why it doesn't change much for me just winning necessarily. Oh, look, and maybe there was some stuff that we can take. And I think there was some positives we can take away, and hopefully we can improve on those. Keep Rishi in the form he's in. Let's start playing Odebear more from the start, please. There's a few like Graham, but hopefully Bergman's injury wasn't too bad, but
yeah,
he seemed to go off injury. That didn't look good. There were some positives for sure, but we just need to start. I need to start seeing us so much better on the ball, and I just got a feeling it's going to take a long time to get there. That's what I don't like.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all, but I just don't know if... I don't think like I said before, I don't think anyone can say Frank is the right guy for us. I think come the end of the season, we're going to be looking for a new manager. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Look, maybe people who call in are right, and maybe it's just the players. Maybe they're all terrible, and Frank's doing the best he can. Maybe it's true, and we'll see. I don't know.
I think it's probably somewhere in the middle, isn't it? Frank can be doing better. The players could be doing better. The players could be, as in the quality of player we have could be a lot better. I think that's the reality.
Oh, for sure.
Yesterday we played 2 teenagers in the middle of the park with Rodrigo Bentancur. I think our midfield, more or less week in, week out gets dominated against oppositions. So is there a quality issue there? Most probably. The forward line, as much as they should be doing a lot better in terms of Frank should be getting a lot more out of them, there is a massive quality issue there in terms of the forward line. So there is a quality issue in our team, but on the flip side of that, Frank should be getting more out of them in terms of our playing style. So I think people on this way, the answer is probably somewhere more in the middle.
As it usually is.
Yeah.
As it usually is.
All right, so a great 1-0 win away at Selhurst Park. Top
Heroic.
of the charts in terms of our away form this season.
Memorable 1-0 win.
It was a memorable 1-0 win. You see the fans yesterday, how buzzing they were.
Yeah, let's talk about that. The fans. Why What was it about yesterday, you think, that just got the fans going? Because they were so loud throughout we saw it from minute one. We were here in the studio listening to it. You couldn't hear the Palace fans. Palace fans are one of the few clubs in the Premier League known for having very good home support. And Spurs outsung them for pretty much the whole game, from what we could hear. Was there something that you felt was a reason for that, or just happened to catch them on a good day, or was there anything specific to yesterday, do you feel?
I think there's a bit of a thing in the away fans right now where it's like similar to harping back to the 90s. Spoke to a few fans about this in the away end yesterday, where we're so bad that everyone that's going to these away games is just, you know what, let's just have a good time with it. Let's just sing our hearts out for 90 minutes and see what comes of it. And Spurs fans did that during the 90s. Obviously, it was a different time going to football then as well. But yeah, it just felt like, festive period as well. Everyone was in good spirits. A lot of drinks were being consumed in the away end yesterday.
Okay. Maybe no work the following day. Does everyone work at work today? Maybe actually.
Some people are, some people aren't. But I think, a lot of people are off work. So I think it was just a case of just everyone was just down to have a good time really yesterday. And it led to an unbelievable atmosphere, literally singing for 90 minutes. All the Bilbao songs were coming out and you chanting into Europe Bilbao, and stuff like that. And it was just fantastic. So I think that's what away end should be like. No matter if you're playing well, bad, whatever. That's what it should be like going to football.
Where's the final of the Champions League this year? Budapest?
Yeah.
But no one was singing that because no one believes it.
No one will sing that.
So people are still singing about on our way to Bilbao, even though we've been.
No, we won it in Bilbao.
We won it in Bilbao. So you're thinking how you were saying that with the rising expectations over the years, the atmosphere has gone down.
There's no expectations anymore.
So now the expectations are decreasing again.
And the atmosphere is getting better.
The atmosphere is getting better. So the better we are, the worse time you have at the game, and then the worse we are, the better time. So
basically, yeah.
That's why you're
but the horrible thing about it is in that middle ground when you think like maybe expectations, but you're actually really shit, and that causes for no good, as we saw at the beginning of the season. But now I genuinely believe most Spurs fans are going to most games now with no expectations, with minimal expectations. So what do? Do you go to the game and have a boring outtake of it and don't even like try and have a good time? Or do you go and have a good time? I know which one I'd prefer.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I don't blame you. I know maybe I would feel different if I was at the game yesterday. Maybe I would have been buzzing. Maybe it's because I had to watch it on TV and I didn't really get a feel for the atmosphere. And I'm just.
And also, by the way, I couldn't see half the game yesterday, so that maybe.
No wonder you were buzzing.
Maybe that played into why I was having such a good time yesterday.
You didn't have to watch it. You didn't have to watch that rubbish.
Literally, I get to my seat and I can't see half the pitch.
You know who scored? Yeah.
I didn't know when the ball went in. No, I had to wait for the stadium announcer.
Incredible.
But it was a great day yesterday at Selhurst Park, and I'm sure every Spurs fan that was in that away end yesterday had an unbelievable time.
Sounded like it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's also maybe the difference between match-going fans and fans who are watching on TV, and the different how those emotions make you feel about a game and stuff like that.
Yeah. Maybe.
I do think when you on social media, when you look at a lot of the people, there's sometimes a bit of a difference when you look at people who go to the games and people who just watch it.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I much prefer going to games, because it's just like that raw atmosphere, particularly at away games, is just like something like no other. At home games with the atmosphere like it is at home, it's pretty much the same as watching on TV, to be honest.
So true.
But away games are a completely different kettle of fish, and yesterday was probably the best atmosphere I experienced this season.
Yeah, it sounded incredible when we were there.
All right, well, that is our match review. Let's move on to play.